Happy week two, everybody. It's Miss Pierce again. For our second weekly walkthrough, we will be taking a look at what's happening this week in ENC 1101. It's been a great week getting to know everybody over on the Getting to Know You discussion board, and we still have a few hours left of Sunday, the 24th, as I am recording this, and almost everybody is posted. If you have not yet posted on the discussion board or completed the startup scavenger hunt, make sure you do that. That is how your initial attendance is checkmarked for Valencia. So definitely take a look over there. I did send out reminders for the folks that I have not gotten a discussion board post from. Um, Even though it's technically not due until tonight, it's a good idea. So, anyway, let's take a look at what's happening in week number 2. All right, so I'm going to turn on the student view. I forgot to do that first, because that way it'll look the way that you're seeing it. We will go straight to the modules this week and take a look at what's happening. So week 1, of course, was the Start Right module, all about getting oriented to the course and all that good stuff. Week 2 is when we are really beginning our actual learning for college composition. So the first thing, of course, that you'll want to do is to peek at the week 2 learning materials. We have 2 chapters to read in the Lumen Learning textbook. Remember, that is a fully online and fully free open educational resource. All you have to do to get to it is click on it, and it's pretty easy to navigate. Everything is linked. So you're going to read uh, Module 1 and Module 4. I may have called them chapters in the verbiage because, of course, I think in terms of chapters because I'm a book person. But module works as well. So you're going to be reading about the writing process, and you're going to be reading about the narrative essay because that is our first writing assignment. Got a couple of videos for you as well this week. Then there's 2 additional readings on description and narrative. These are um, from Valencia's writer LibGuide. Again, all you have to do to get to them is to click. So take a look at both of those. We are reading about both description and narrative because even though the focus of our first paper is on narrative or telling a story, any good story also involves description. So we're going to be using description inside the larger paper. You've got a video from scribber.com, which is one of my quickly become one of my favorite websites. We will refer to this website a lot. It is great not only for all things writing, but also for um, figuring out how to create works cited entries, which we will be doing a lot of coming up. And then there's a video on how to write a personal narrative because that is your first paper assignment. Okay. Now, you can go ahead and look at the paper assignment. It is going to invite you to do that as you do this week's assignment anyway. Oh, and while I'm on this page, let me show you. Oh, it may not let me go forward because I'm a student. Let me just breeze through these really quickly so that I make sure that it knows that I finished everything. The first module is the only one that you have to basically get check marks on everything to show that you have touched all of these pages. I didn't invent that. That's something that a lot of folks at the school use. And of course, then you had the 2 assignments. So let me go back to the module. It should be ready now. Yeah, everything is checked. All right. So let me show you a quick trick. One of the things, the modules aren't too long, especially once you get past week 1, but if you want to, you can shrink them to just the headline. I like to do that once I'm finished with them so that I don't have to scroll as much because 16 is a lot, a lot of scrolling eventually. So week 2 is, of course, where we are. The first assignment for this week is the writing process skill drill. You will have learned all about the writing process, and so you will take this quiz. It is a quiz, but again, like our scavenger hunt. It is not about trying to trick you into not doing well. So just take your time with it. Make sure you answer all the questions, read the questions carefully, and you will be just fine on the writing process skill drill. Then we have the personal narrative pre-writing. So the personal narrative pre-writing is also in quiz format. But before you start it, you will want to review the full assignment for the personal narrative essay. You will find that in next week's module, but you can click on this and it will open for you so that you can see what you're working on. So the assignment is the personal narrative essay. You're going to write a narrative essay that reflects on a significant event or series of events from your life that demonstrates a sense of accomplishment. Your narrative should not only recount the experience, but also explore its impacts on your personal growth and how it shaped who you are today. I will mention that I would gravitate towards positive experiences for this. It is a lot easier to write about things that have a positive impact and also were positive at the time, as opposed to something that was traumatic at the time, even if that now has a positive impact. Your essay will be at least 750 words I can read, which is three typed double space pages. You're going to set it up in MLA format. We're going to talk about that more next week. I'm not going to get into it too much today. Your essay should include a clear introduction, a well-developed body, and a conclusion that reflects on the meaning of the events. It is not designed to be a simple 5-paragraph essay. Your body may have a bunch of paragraphs in it. You can have tons of paragraphs in the body. When we are writing narratives, we typically have shorter paragraphs than we do when we're writing like a research paper type thing. So, in the introduction, of course, you're going to tell us what you're writing about. Include a thesis statement that reflects the significance of the accomplishment. Then, in the body, detailed account of the event or events. Most events, even if it's a single event like high school graduation or something along those lines, are made up of multiple things that happen. So, for example, if I was talking about my high school graduation, I would probably write about the ceremony, but I would also write about the party afterwards, and I would write about maybe the gifts that I got. Like, there's all kinds of things that could play into that. You do want to use descriptive language. So if you are talking about people, places, or things, give us the full vivid picture. Discuss, of course, your thoughts, feelings, and reactions as the events unfolded. Do note, and this is an important one, when you are writing, you are using first person in this particular paper, but you never have to say things like, I think. Like, you can just tell us what you think. We'll talk more about that as we get into some of the later papers. Reflect on the challenges, of course, that you faced and how you overcame them, and explore the lessons learned, how the experience contributed to your personal development. One of the things, and we'll talk a little bit more about this next week, but you may want to include things like dialogue. And if so, you want that to be realistic and come across as legitimate. Um, this week, all you're doing is picking your topic, but be thinking about that. And then, of course, you'll have a conclusion paragraph as well. So all the criteria are here. This gives you everything you need to know as well as the rubric. And so that is what you will want to review before tackling the quiz, because this is going to help you pre-write for the personal narrative essay. Okay. All right, folks, that's it for week number 2, kind of low key. We're working our way into it. But you are welcome to look ahead at the materials for next week if you think that might help you with the thinking about what to write about with the personal narrative, because there's more information about narratives in week 3's learning materials. So feel free to do that. Also, don't forget, reach out via the Q&A discussion board if you have questions about the assignment in general, because that could help everybody. And of course, if you have a question that you don't want to share with the rest of the class, feel free to shoot me an inbox message and I will get back to you ASAP. All right, everybody, take care and have a great week too. I hope all your classes are going well, and I will chat with you next Monday.